Let's get into the hard-hitting weather stories, okay? Let's talk about some of the video. This is coming out of Holden, Massachusetts, where a radar-indicated tornado was reported in the area around 4 p.m. yesterday. Now, this was the only confirmed tornado warning that we had of the afternoon, but at one moment, there were 4 or 5 ongoing tornado warnings. Now, it's interesting because just yesterday morning, I would say maybe around this time, we saw an upgrade in the tornado potential, and that really did come to fruition across the Northeast, at least in the spin potential. And again, one tornado, it seems, was able to spin up from this. If you look at where things stand right now, we are still dealing with that last little bit of push of moisture. A lot of this is fairly easy to kind of deal with. It's not that heavy downpour where you can barely see because the rain's coming down so hard. Although we do have a couple pockets where notice that the yellow's coming in. That's showing some moderate rain at times. Most of this flanking just south of New York, actually in the Philadelphia area out towards Trenton. Then we have another pocket of heavy rain near Hartford and out towards Wallingford. If we want to talk about where that tornado was, it was in this general area in Massachusetts. But let's talk about some of the severe storm reports. I mean, a lot of reports of trees down. We even had a hail report of 1.5 inches. I mean, that is significant hail when we're talking about storms this far north. And that just goes to show the available energy that was here. Just running through with some of these storm reports, trees and wires down, so some isolated power outages was certainly seen yesterday. Wind damage in Paxton, in Holden, that was the town where we had that tornado, large tree down on Bailey Road, making it impassable. So let's break down this tornado really quickly here. We're showing you the past radar where, yes, it was a bit of a mess, not a classic rogue supercell, more of this bigger complex. But you can see that spin within that shield of precip. You take it one step forward. This is looking at debris tracker, something non-meteorological being lofted into the air. And you see this small little spike. It's not a classic debris signature like you would see from a monstrous tornado, but, you know, we don't see EF3, 4 tornadoes this far north. It's very, very rare, if not impossible, to see something like this happen. So this was likely a very weak and brief tornado. But if you look on the rotation, clearly you can see that over Holden and also areas of lightning, which can also indicate an intense updraft. Finally, bringing me to the velocity signature. That's where you're looking at the winds moving towards and away from the radar. Toward being the green and then the red being away. So you would imagine that's where the circulation was, just to the south of the town of Holden, as it eventually moved over Interstate 190. So really incredible with the potential that we saw out of the storms yesterday. And if you look at that hail report, it takes a second to load because there's a lot of information there. In the city of Manchester, 1.5 inches, and it corrected a previous hail report, basically saying that hail began at 3:52, lasted for up to 10 minutes, and cracked a windshield and observed shredded leaves and branches across the area. So a lot of this was felt just to the north of the Manhattan area, with the severity of these storms in terms of the wind, the hail, the tornado potential. The rain, though, that was actually more efficient along the Jersey Shore just south of Manhattan. Now, in my neighborhood, I took a lot of video. I mean, as a meteorologist, of course, I stuck my head out the window, taking as much as I could. And the typical spots in my neighborhood that flood, they were flooding over. It wasn't catastrophic. It was just a little bit of street flooding, but it was enough to be a nuisance, especially because the Italian festival is being held in my neck of the woods this weekend. So a lot of Italian folks who were out to celebrate, they had to run indoors for that time being. As far as folks out in Massachusetts, this is over in Boston College. Temperature 62 degrees, so we're already starting to feel the effect of that cold front. Winds gusting at 8 miles per hour, but notice the wind changing. Yesterday, they were coming out of the south and southwest, but now they're out of the northwest. So again, that sign of the changing of the tides after that cold front came in. We're still dealing with some rain going into this afternoon and this evening, but eventually as we head into, I'd say, peak of the evening, 5, 6 o'clock, the rain will finally have cleared the coast, and we can start talking about brighter days ahead and some cooler weather, especially for the next week or so across the Northeast.